If you're expecting another comedy video, don't worry, there'll be more of those coming in the coming days. But for now, we're going to focus on a video essay on something I feel a bit passionately about, and that is my favourite show, Gotham. Before we begin, I just want to warn that the following video contains spoilers for Gotham Seasons 2 through 4.
You're all prisoners. What you call sanity is just a prison in your minds that stops you from seeing that you're just tiny little cogs in a giant, absurd machine. Wake up!
Nobody has to die. Well, except for these people. I know seeing is believing, and I do want you to believe me, so...
The Joker has been portrayed in the media by about as many actors as Doctor Who. The character has been cemented by time as a pop culture icon. One of the most talked about renditions of the character is TV's unofficial Joker in the cult television series Gotham. While it was not legally possible for them to use the Joker in the show, they instead introduced us to Jerome Valeska. Jerome Valeska was a young man pushed to the edge of his sanity by an abusive upbringing in a gypsy circus, causing him to resort to the murder of his mother and eventually father, and to run amok in Gotham City alongside his new pals, the Maniacs, until his role in the gang was fulfilled and he was put to death by the group's commander, Theo Galavan. By popular demand, the character was resurrected by his own cult in Season 3. Jerome's face was cut off by cult leader Dwight, believing the resurrection to have failed and resorting to a grim backup plan. In response to this, Jerome casually stapled the face back onto his head, giving him an iconic new appearance reminiscent of the Joker in DC's New 52 era. When Season 4 rolled around, there was a lot of anticipation for Jerome's return, and a lot of publicity. Before Jerome's return though, executive producer Danny Cannon insisted that Jerome was not the Joker and was their homage to the character, and that, well, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Cause you ain't seen nothing yet!
I had a lot of issues with this. I didn't feel Gotham could have had a better actor to portray the role of the Joker than Cameron Monaghan. And as a matter of fact, he is my favourite actor to portray this role to date. As well as this, there was a lot of bait that Gotham producers were feeding us, in that the real Joker would be someone inspired by Jerome and be living anonymously. There's a big problem with this, in that it would take much of the Joker's showmanship and originality and cheapen that massively, rendering Batman's most iconic nemesis nothing more than a prissy copycat. More news came out over time, eventually revealing that Cameron Monaghan would be playing a dual role in the latter part of Season 4, with the actor making far more appearances in this season than previous. There was a lot of speculation as to who this new character would be, with many of us anticipating the real Joker. The episode rolled around revealing Cameron Monaghan's second role to be Jeremiah Valeska, a genius who built an underground maze to protect himself from Jerome. A lot was revealed, including that Jeremiah instigated much of Jerome's abuse from his family and reaped the benefits, including a foster family and a luxury school. Jeremiah was a prodigy, while Jerome spent his life being beaten and cleaning elephant dung. After Jerome and Jeremiah's climactic confrontation, Jerome was gunned down by Jim Gordon, falling to his death, and his final will and testament was unleashed upon Gotham when he used his patented Joker toxin on Jeremiah, bleaching his face white and making his lips a bloody red, giving him his trademark Joker design.
It's time to have some fun. Burn it down, brother. Burn it all down.
So, we have the Joker, and he's portrayed by Cameron Monaghan. What's not to like? The show did well to avoid our Joker just being a copycat of Jerome, in that Jeremiah was the one responsible for Jerome's psychopathy, and that he was the one true sadist from the very start.
I am the one who's victorious.
It also states that Jerome's gas had nothing more than a cosmetic effect, and he believed himself to be the face of true sanity, with his plan to level Gotham City. But here is where the problems start. For me anyway, the Joker is a sadistic maniac, but in a way that's so crafty and so eccentric that it becomes infectious. He tries to impress everyone with his every act, and most notably the Batman, who he's obsessed with. The character of Jeremiah gets this right, in that Jeremiah wants to prove a point to Bruce Wayne by using his technology as bombs, and sees Bruce as his very best friend.
I would hate to have to kill you. In fact, I can honestly say you are my very best friend.
This is very Jokery. However, that's really where the similarities end. Jeremiah states that he wants to outdo Jerome in every regard and gives a few examples from Jerome's diary, the most notable being about Jerome's plan to slather Bruce in honey and feed him to corpse beetles. Jeremiah then goes on to say that if he wanted Bruce dead, he would have just put a bullet through his head and get it done with, and with that, the Joker's iconic eccentricity and distinction from other villains has vanished in favor of a more traditional gangster. Remember when Jerome had the opportunity to murder Bruce in his home, but instead opted to drag him to his circus of death because Bruce criticized his showmanship? Jerome even acknowledged that Bruce was clearly just buying his time, and set the odds against Bruce so high that his escape was so close to impossible that only a future Batman could escape.
I'll find Jerome!
The Gotham writers have proven with that they have a brilliant understanding of the character, and it's such a mystery as to why they've taken such a bland turn. However, it doesn't stop there. With his performance as Jerome, Cameron Monaghan proved that he could nail the Joker's iconic laughter with a few wonderful new twists of his own. In all of Jeremiah's episodes up until the season finale, Jeremiah maybe lets out a slight chuckle, and that's really just as far as it goes. Jeremiah is a very relaxed, all-business portrayal of the character, which honestly just does not line up with what made the Joker so iconic after all these years, and what people really loved about Jerome. Even as his divine plan to rule Gotham comes to fruition, he displays no sense of excitement at the idea of his own success, or proving the point to Batman. He just goes about his plan moving everything forward without taking much pleasure in it whatsoever. So, what the hell happened? The reason I was so excited and determined to have Cameron Monaghan play the Joker was because he did such an incredible job at playing the playful, eccentric character that we know and love, and had that disturbing ingredient that made every great Joker. He's sadistic, he's psychotic, he's evil, and yet here I am laughing with him as an audience member. A good Joker makes us audience members feel as though we are the Joker too, which is exactly what Jerome did. As for Jeremiah, we might as well just have Hannibal Lecter in Joker cosplay.
You know why we're destined to be best friends? Because we're very much alike. You are as I used to be, at war with your true nature. You must truly embrace it if you ever want to be free. I'm just trying to help you.
I do love Hannibal Lecter, and I can see the similarities between him and the Joker, but when they scored a 10 out of 10 on their first go, this 180-degree turn is just a bit sorry in comparison, and leaves me hoping that Jerome will return once again, rendering this whole Jeremiah thing the old fake Joker gag. Apologies for the really poor Mark Hamill imitation there. Just had to do it. And what's more is that it's illegal to use the name of the Joker in this show, so they've had to stick with calling him Jeremiah, or as Cameron Monaghan likes to call him, Jay. Cameron Monaghan stated that it's up to the viewer to decide who the Joker is for them, leaving the ambiguity of the character intact after all. And it displays a clear understanding from Cameron Monaghan's point of view as to what this character should be. So I in no way blame him for how Jeremiah turned out. This is just a writing decision that I disagree with, and understandably, not everyone's going to have a problem with. But for now, the one true Joker of Gotham will always be Jerome Valeska in my eyes. How about you folks? Who would you like to be the real Joker in Gotham? Be it Jerome, be it Jeremiah, be it someone completely different? Do you have anyone in mind that you think could play the Joker in Gotham? Subscribe for more videos just like this, and more comedy videos to come for all you comedy fans. Thanks for watching.